So
What can I
Stephen,
do?
when do you think is the best time of the year to buy a catamaran? And considering that boats are just selling all over the place right now, is does these trends that we have usually
Well,
still ring true? Do you think?
these trends are really unusual. There's no inventory. Boats are selling so fast at prices way above what they should be selling for at the moment, because people want boats, and the perception is that there aren't any other boats to be had. The truth is, there are dealers sitting with inventory available this year still. And new boats didn't have the price bump that the used boats have because they're controlled by a structured price sheets from the different manufacturers. Normally, the best time to buy a boat is just at the start of hurricane season, which is
So
July.
wait, these are for brokerage boats, used boats, right?
Yeah. I mean, for July, August is a pretty good time to buy boats, because a lot of owners are trying to get out of the boats and not have the exposure over the hurricane season. So that's traditionally a good time to buy, but I don't think that holds true today. I think that any time you can get a boat is a good time now because there's no inventory.
I have heard though that I agree with you. I kind of, all of us are just struggling for inventory. But I have heard that even though some people are just buying up a boat sight unseen, and some of them will even waive a survey. That's never a good idea, right?
No, to waive a survey is just crazy. You've got to haul the boat out, you've got to look at the running gear, you've got to tap the bottom out, because you've got to see if the boat's ever had a problem. If you can't get to the boat because of COVID, at least get a walkthrough, with the broker, with a Zoom walkthrough, or a video call. And I would get a surveyor to do a survey on the boat, irrespective. Even if you're not there, the surveyor can give you a pretty reliable survey report.
And then I would recommend, I don't know if you agree, but I would recommend that you don't take the seller's broker at their word, because a lot of those brokers never even see the boat. So you wouldn't know or they wouldn't tell you, if they are not completely honest, that there's maybe delamination or whatever.
You should never trust anybody except your own representatives. You can have sellers telling you stuff and brokers telling you stuff. You've got to disregard everything. The only thing you can trust is when you employ a broker that's working as your agent. He's your trusted advisor. He does the survey. That's reality, nothing else. Don't ever get bamboozled by. I wouldn't even take a survey report from a seller, because you never know what happened between the time the survey was done and when you buy the boat. It's a lot of money. Get a survey and get your own surveyor. Don't take recommendations for surveyors. You don't want a surveyor that shows up with a white stick or a guide dog. You really want your own surveyor to be looking after your interests exclusively. And
the other thing that happens quite often in the industry is that buyer and seller are represented by the same broker. That is not the best idea either, right?
It's really not. If you're in a brokerage house, you can have a listing broker and you could be working with a selling broker, as long as the two, I think that as long as there's two brokers, one representing the buyer and one representing the seller in the same house, is not ideal. It's better to have completely separate agencies working for each party. But it's a very bad idea to have a broker representing the buyer and the seller, because generally the buyer is the live bait, because everybody wants to make money. And if the buyer doesn't buy the boat, no one makes money. So everyone's doing everything they can, and the broker has a lot of difficulty being neutral and in the middle, because if the buyer doesn't buy, the broker doesn't get paid, the seller doesn't make his money. The only person who's guaranteed to be paid is the surveyor, because he gets paid irrespective.
Right. So what do you suggest people do when they first start looking at a boat, or to buy a boat? Find a good broker, obviously, and then get on as many boats as you can and decide what might work for you.
Yeah, I think you've got to really do your due diligence. You go to boat shows, see all the different types of boats, different brands. You know, there's no bad boats anymore. They're all the boats that are out there are pretty decent, you know, quality. But different features appeal to different buyers. So decide what boat you're looking for, number one. Number two, study the market, have a look, see how prices are moving, etc. You know, if you want a broker in your corner, find a broker that's reputable. You know, again, interview brokers until you find a broker that you feel comfortable with, and use that broker to represent you. Make sure the broker goes to survey with you. Make sure that they do all the due diligence. Make sure that the boats has duty paid, all the tax implications, because down the road, if you want to sell it, you need to have covered all those bases. A lot of people that do for sale by owner don't do this and get caught later. If you find a boat that's for sale by owner, it doesn't preclude you from having a broker. A broker will work on your behalf for possibly half the brokerage commission. And remember that if you have a good broker on your side and you're negotiating, the broker will probably negotiate a price reduction, which would further reduce the real cost. But he brings all the documents, escrow, all the knowledge you need. And remember that once you've bought the boat, there's a lot that goes on after the fact, upgrading the boat, finding stuff, etc. And your broker will be able to help you. If you've got a good broker and a good relationship, your broker will be with you well past the sale of the boat. So, you know, pick your broker wisely and find someone that you actually can work with.
Okay, and there's a lot of good brokers out there, so you just have to look around and like you said, pick somebody that you're comfortable with, right?
Yeah, you know, you've got to know that the broker you've got is knowledgeable, and will take care of your interests, and that you like, that you can get along with. You know, there are a lot of good brokers. You know, you just got to find them.
Yeah, just as many not so great, and
I'm not going there.
yeah, but your broker should be able to advise you, know the product, advise you what to do, what not to do, what to look out for. So yeah. Anyway, so I just wanted to touch base because it seems like everybody and his mother is buying a boat right now, and there's just not enough inventory. So people are almost forced into buying boats that they don't really want.
Well, they really want them because, you know, I think there's an instinct that has been triggered with all the COVID and all these things. And that instinct is to have some level of freedom or independence.
Yeah.
And that's what a yacht represents. So I think instinctively people are gravitating towards having sailing yachts. You know, potentially, I think maybe next year we're going to see a little bit of a downturn. And maybe then there are going to be people that bought boats that shouldn't have bought boats that are going to be looking to be getting out of them. And potentially the brokerage market could sort of stabilize and go back to where it was in relation to new boats. But right now, it's almost better to be looking at new boats because, you know, the manufacturer hasn't been able to bump the price as much as the natural price increase of the used boats.
All right. Well, we'll check back in with you in a bit and see how, if we can change this to better for buyers. But right now it's fantastic for sellers.
Very busy, but yeah. Well, take care. Until next time.